It's the flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Get that bag.
Welcome to show number 164. Just Renikin and myself here tonight. For now, maybe Adrian will show up. But what's going on, Renikin?
Everything's good. How about you?
Oh, I'm super tight. So we're live on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Periscope. So please share this. Please like it. If we have one person in here, we should have one like. We have 1,000, we should have 1,000 likes. So we should have 1,000 shares or whatever. So so we'll get right into it. We already got some people here in the comments section. So I'm the moderator, tech behind the scenes, so bear with us or whatever. So we'll try to make it happen and add some value to you guys. You want to share anything before we get started, Renika?
Ready to rock and roll.
Oh, ready to rock? Okay. All right. So and they had plenty of people and say, "Are you anyone else here waiting on the show? What market are you in?" Got Byron and Jasmine in Charlotte. What else we got? Somebody in Metro Atlanta. Everything you got on. Okay. Let me see if we got any questions. We don't have any questions yet. Let me see if we got anything on TikTok. Nothing there. Come on, guys. Hey, you hear that question? We hear the answer. People here educating each other, look like. All right. All right, so we'll go with this one right here. All right, what's going on, Carol Foster? The question is, can you give info? I forgot. If you want to join us live, you can just go to comps101.com and tap the red button that says join live, and we'll gladly get you on. We got someone in the holding right now, but we're going to answer Carol's question first. Can you give info on text to flip? Also, would you pursue a property that is owned by a corporation? All right. Now, as far as information on the text to flip, I'm affiliated with Batch Leads, and I have a video that actually goes into detail on the entire process from building your list to skip tracing your list to setting up your campaign and so on. Now, in the help center of the actual site, it has a lot of good tutorials, and they're continuously updating that to make sure that it's helpful in getting you to the end game, which is deals. So just make sure that you watch that video, text to flip. As far as would you pursue a property that is owned by a corporation? Well, at the end of the day, a person is still behind that corporation if you can reach them. So yes, you can. It's not something I normally do, but it just depends on the opportunity. It normally has to just be not normally do unless it's commercial. That's just normal business with commercial. But on the residential side, again, at the end of the day, somebody's behind the entity, whether it's an LLC or a corporation or corp or LLP or whatever it is. There's an actual human being that's behind it. So it just sometimes they're a little bit more savvier than individual, maybe a little less motivated than someone that just has it in their name. Sometimes, probably most of the time. So what do you think about that, Renika?
No, I couldn't have said it better. Pursue all. I think it's just a matter of knowing, knowing all angles. I mean, there's always a corporation individual that owns it. Just knowing how to contact that corporation is the biggest piece of the puzzle. And you want to, you want to skip trace a corporation. You want to go to the county, which that corporation was formed. or the state in which that corporation was formed, and you want to search and see who owns it. You can go to the property records of the property and see what's the mailing address of where that property sits, the mailing address. And then a lot of times it's owned by a corporation. That mailing address is probably different from the actual subject property. And that gives you the ability to either, send them a postcard or yellow letter, or maybe skip trace it even farther to try to find the individual behind the business.
Boom. All right. So we're gonna bring my man Julian on here. He's a weekly guest. Welcome to the Julian Show.
What's going on, y'all? Nice to see y'all.
Hello.
What's happening, man?
My question is, it's with the same, it's with the same property. I really just don't know what to do. So, it's in my neighborhood, and I noticed it's distressed. I got in contact with the owner's daughter. She passed away. The owner passed away, and got in contact with the daughter, and she told me that the house was with the courthouse, and I didn't know what to say because I was like, okay, and then I later found that, okay, since you told me, Toddy, you told me that she's the next heir, like she's the oldest sibling, so she gets obviously the rights, but she told me that it was like $9,000 owed in taxes. So I don't know if that meant that she no longer could own the house, or whether the city has it. I'm not sure, but we had a conversation. I told her to look into it and to get back to me. But in regards, and she also said that someone else was renting out the house for $400 a month. So I'm asking you, how do I trace down who actually owns the deed or the title?
I mean, she says it with the courts. It's probably going through probate, and her probate settlement haven't been settled. And you got to pay taxes on your probate, on your full estate. It has to be, you got to pay taxes on your full estate. And then once it goes through the process, the person that's over the estate, the representative, would begin to distribute the assets that's in the state. So it's a process. So most likely it's going through probate right now, which you have the ability to call down and check on her mother's estate, see where they are in the process, and begin to contact someone regarding that they have a buyer for the house to sell that. Now, someone gonna have to pay those taxes or whatever the case may be. So it's one of the things that you may be able to get a good steal by just paying the taxes or something of that nature, a little bit over. I mean, whatever they sell it for. It's really up to the rep over the estate, and it's up to the individual, the beneficiaries of the estate. So
okay.
I would probably start there.
Okay. If thank you. If that's not the case, and it turns out that she does own it, but she just didn't know, because she was under the impression that, okay, maybe the state, that's what she said. I don't think she was 100% sure. And
who's on the property records? Her mother's still on the property record?
Her mom, yeah, still says she owns it. And I don't think the taxes haven't paid since 2017.
It's still going to probate.
Okay.
Because she passed away. So anytime someone passes away, it goes through estate planning. It goes through probate. And she don't have a will or a trust for it, obviously, because the property is not in a trust. So if it was in a trust, it will go straight to her beneficiaries. It will go to the oldest. It'll be in the will. If it you have the right of survivorship because there's another person on the deed, but there's not. So it has to be still going through probate in some type of way. Yeah. All right. Unless it's in the will. I mean, if it's in their will, if it's in a trust, it'll be passed on to beneficiaries. It's just a matter of time. So you have to determine, is it in the will? Is it in the trust? Is it going through probate? I think those would be probably the top options.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. Again, if you guys want to join us live here as Julian just did, then just go to comps101.com and we'll get you on. All right. Someone said it's comp still 101 still up. I just acknowledge that. question here. Someone says, do you guys know about wholesaling in Miami? Is it difficult?
I mean, I know a couple of investors down in the Fort Lauderdale, Miami area, and they're wholesaling.
There you go.
Yeah, I haven't heard any laws like the Illinois, Chicago area.
Okay, so boom, so make it happen. Huge market down there, a lot of opportunity. Type stuff. So Trey Murray, you only have your what they call it, avatar up. You need to put your face on the screen, Playboy, and we'll add you on. All right, there you go. All right, what's up, man?
Yeah, I had a property under contract. So I've been going through for about 2 or 3 months. So this is basically like I want to say, basically need to be a tear down. So what type of buyer would you recommend? I've been talking to contractors. It's been really hard to move.
Okay, his question was he has a property under contract, and he says it's a property that should be torn down.
Yeah,
what type of
jobs need to be done? I've been talking to my contractors and whatnot, trying to get buyers.
Okay. Well, I guess at the end of it starts with what are houses selling for in that area?
So normal house from there is selling about 150.
150. What you picking it up for?
I got it under for 30.
Oof.
How much was the rehab?
Well, you said tear down, so
The rehab probably about 50 or 60.
Probably about 7.
But he says a tear down, so that's a new construction, right?
Yeah, it need like a total good job.
But sometimes you can tear it down to the foundation. But yeah, the tear down is usually probably about 70,000. But I mean, to answer your question, I mean, if you do the numbers.
Well, let me ask you this: why do you say it's a tear down? Let's get to that first, because
everything in there needs to be took out. The roof needs to be redone. Foundation needs some work. Basically, everything needs to be repaired.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't technically mean it's a tear down. What's the square footage on it?
It's like 2,143.
Ooh, that's a big house.
Yeah, you definitely on 75,000, 8,000.
Yeah, it's up there. Yeah, you'll spend 80 like it's nothing on something like that. Sounds like 2,100 square feet. You probably need that a little cheaper, just to think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And 150,000, 70% is 105. I would say more 80,000. And it's probably be 80 to 90,000.
Yeah, I got it on the contract for 30,000.
Yeah.
I think you want to sell it. I think the end buyer would want to pick it up 25,000.
Okay.
So you may want to pick it up at 18.
All right.
You know. But your end buyer is going to be anyone who's willing to fix and flip. I mean, it's not a fire damage, which people, maybe shy away from, but a tear down is a normal, somewhat of not a normal. I mean, you got levels to rehab, but a regular investor who wouldn't mind doing a fix and flip would be your ideal investor. Because you may see it as a tear down. And one thing I know about fix and flip, your general contractors will tell you anything. It's easy for them to tear it down and build it new because they don't really want to go through the salvaging anything. So sometimes your GC would just say, "Oh, this is tear down." But the end buyer could come in who's more savvy, who really understands what they're doing, and they may look at it and be able to salvage some of the things that your GC may say is a tear down. So I think your end buyer going to be just anyone who's willing to do a fix and flip. And the focus is getting at the right price to sell to them.
All right.
So you need to get it cheaper. So basically what we're
Yeah,
saying.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to get it cheaper.
Yeah.
All right, my man.
All right.
Thank you for joining us. All right, who else we got? Brandon, if you could remove your avatar and go live, we'll add you on. All right. What else we got here? Say if you got the deal closed on got the deal closed. I'm not sure what that means. Question from Kenneth Big Time 123. Hey Flipman, what do you think about HomeVestors? I guess you mean as a franchise business. Well, when I first got into wholesaling, within that first year or so, the guys that had one of the first franchises here in Birmingham, I wholesaled a few deals, well, a couple of deals, I don't know about a few, a couple of deals to them. And it was, I don't know what they do now, but it's expensive, to get a franchise. I don't know what the fee is now. I thought it was expensive back then. That was 17 years ago. I guess it has its benefits, but my man, the money you'll spend to get that franchise going, you can run your own thing. You know what I'm saying? You're committed to do, and obviously it worked. Or they've been around since I've been in the game. So whatever they're doing it right. But
that's the We Buy Ugly Houses guys.
Yeah, that's them. Yeah.
Oh, they were flagging. They flagged one of my pictures when I hashtag We Buy Ugly Houses, and they were flagged. I mean, you cannot use their slogan.
Yeah, it's trademark. It's trademark. Yeah, it's trademark. And so I just think it's just a less expensive way of getting into the business or whatever. So I don't know. I really can't answer that because I don't know enough about the fees to start it. But I know they got to be hefty or whatever. If you have those type of resources, there's so many things you can do. Again, it's just hard for me to give an opinion on it. So anyway, we'll go to the next question. I have another question here from Beautiful A. I don't know what the A stands for. How does owner financing work?
That's a good question. And I guess I can start that off. So owner financing is pretty much when the homeowner becomes the bank, pretty much. So the homeowner, instead of you having to have a promissory note and loan terms with the bank, you have those same promissory notes and loan terms with the seller, and you will pretty much pay the seller back like a 30-year note, or it could be a advertisement of 30 years and a loan in 5 years, but it allows the owner who owns the property to become the bank, and they can owner finance it to you, so you don't have to go and qualify for a loan at the bank, at a traditional bank. Is one of those situations where the owner most likely owns it free and clear or something of that nature, to be able to provide owner financing to you, allow you to come in and own that property without having to truly qualify for traditional banking.
Okay, so boom. All right. Okay, so good question right here. How to determine rents and option fee for lease option deals?
Rents and option fee. Lease options. That's a good question. So most likely, for pretty much a purchase with the right to, a lease with the right to purchase, that down payment can be anything, to be honest with you. It can be anything, 5,000, 10,000. It could be anything. It could be 10% of the 3% of the purchase price. You can really, it's not a set in stone of what that down payment or that down payment fee will be. So they can exercise their right to purchase that property. That can be whatever you all come up with. Now, when it comes to rents, no one's trying to overpay on their rent. You know, no one's trying to pay way more than what the market is paying on their rent. So you just want to, you know, research the market rent in the area, and you can come up with what that looks like. It can be one of those situations where it's $1,000, you know, lease purchase type of scenario. So they'll be paying you $1,000 a month, but maybe 20% of it or 30% of it goes towards the principal, and the other portion will go towards the interest. So all of that is pretty negotiable. It could be, I haven't seen it where you lease it, and until you purchase it, none of that leased money going towards your principal, your interest. So, you know, it's really negotiable. How you want to put that together. What do you say, Tom?
Yeah. Got one question. Let me see. What she said? She was asking about how does lease options work. Okay, how to determine rents and option fee for a lease option here. Well, yeah, you want to try to stay within what that particular market is renting for, ideally. And then it's what, like you say, the option fee itself, man, that's normal. A lot of people try to do at least 10% of the total purchase price, at least that. But it's all negotiable though. So I may ask for 15% and just negotiate from there, depending on how likely, for my due diligence, I think these individuals will be able to cash the deal out or whatever. So that's assuming you stand there within the transaction. So as far as the rental amount, you want to try to possibly keep it around what the market will bear in that area, maybe even a little less to make it a little more attractive. But then again, it still depends on how much they're willing to put down. Sometimes people put down more just to get a lower rental payment. So, you know, I'm normally going to be down with that if it still makes sense as far as cash flow and what's owed to the lender that may be involved, whether it's your deal or you actually did I guess you would say a sandwich lease where you lease with the seller and then lease it back out or whatever, lease with an option to buy. So, so it's just going to depend, but at least 10%, I would say. But again, it's all negotiable. It just depends. So everything is negotiable.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see what we got here. Thank you. We're gonna put this up. I think I'm assuming they're talking to us. Hey guys, are banner signs still relevant? I bought 50 of them and put 10 in the certain areas last night so they can be seen this morning. I drove by to check on my signs and they were gone.
You got to know the sign laws. It's Thursday. Put that up on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, signs don't go up during the week. They don't go.
So a couple of things there. 50 is, I'm going to always side on doing something, right? And 50 is, but with that being said, 50 is not a lot of signs. But again, it is doing something. So you put those 10 out, and the good thing about putting those 10 out, that lets you know you don't need to put signs in that area. If they were gone the next morning, you definitely don't need to put signs in that area, right? Especially through the week, as she said, for sure. So ideally, before you start putting signs out, I don't know what market you're in, but you may want to scout out your market to see where signs, people tend to get away with signs, seem like they have some life. And a lot of times you can just look at the sign and see they've been up there a while because they're weather worn. The weather has worn them, they faded a little bit or whatever and stuff like that. So, but again, the good thing of what you did, those 10 were a great test because there's not a lot of them, but 50 is a start, but definitely not enough. So you got to do more testing in areas where you're going to play, but the signs still work. There's no question about that. What do you think, Renee?
Yeah, I agree 1000%. You know, the key is you really can't put them up during the week, you know, and that's why they go up on the weekend. And that's why we because signs are kind of illegal. I mean, let's just call a spade is illegal. You gotta have permits to put signs out. So the reason why it close up on the weekends because the public, what they call the public.
Oh, wow.
What's the guy that called the public the public official that goes around during the week? That's their job to do that during the week and pick up signs, you know. But they don't work on the weekends, so that's why they go up on Fridays.
Look what he said. Look what his follow-up was.
How you know the competition took them?
He said the competition took them and replaced them with their signs.
Oh. What market is this? This is a lot. What market is this? Y'all doing a lot. It's money. It's enough money for everybody to make.
I've had that to happen, you know, myself. You know what I'm saying? I've had people to do that or whatever, and so you may want to try a little different area where the competition doesn't exist, and unless you just want to get in a war, you know, they may have a bigger war chest, but you may have more motivation. You go out there and take their signs.
Hey, you got to do it one time. You got to get Gator one time. You got to take their signs and replace them with yours. No, you know
I tell you, you can do better than this. Go buy your can of spray paint and just
and man,
hey, that even pisses them off anymore. Like, hey, took my sign down. This was what's up. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, so golly, boy, I can't stand that.
That's a strong competitive market right there.
Oh my God, I can't stand that. Oh,
yeah.
For everybody, my man. Sure.
I mean, it's like Burger King getting mad at McDonald's for being next door. And, you know, you can't. Everyone gives a different level of service. Everyone have different houses in their databases. It's like it's really no competition. It's like everyone has their own. I mean, there's a little competition, but
their own lane. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, just timing and just the way you go about doing things different from you. May be doing the same thing, but you're going about it differently or whatever.
Right.
One seller might like the way your sign looks versus someone else, or they may call you responded first, they didn't, vice versa. Or well, there's enough bread out here for everybody. Just time. Golly. All right, so all right, so we got the life of it. Eli says, question for Flipman. Do you still offer help closing the first deal? Yeah. You can just text me and I can hook you up on that pricing and stuff. Someone filled in the blank for your code enforcement. What the word you were looking for a moment ago?
Yes, code enforcement. Exactly what I was looking for. Yes. They work during the week, but they do not work on the weekends.
Oh yeah, oh definitely. They probably knock off about 3 on Friday. Like,
right.
I'm not doing that the rest of the day. That's over with for this week. All right, so Def Jam. Welcome, Russell Simmons. When you wholesale virtually out of state, how do you stop the cash buyer from going behind your back and stealing your deal?
I think those are the pitfalls of wholesaling virtually. In my opinion, you just got to have some boots on the ground that is for you, wherever you are virtually wholesaling. You know, who can meet with the cash buyer, who can meet with the sellers. You know, I know a lot of people out there teaching this virtual thing without meeting anybody, but you got to have a team of someone there so you can control the narrative. You're not there to control the narrative, then they have there's a great possibility that they're going to go behind your back. That's just, once that seller and buyer meet and they realize that you really don't have no skin in the game and he has the house and he has the money and they have that first conversation, they're going to minimize your fee or really go behind your back. So you have to control that in so many ways. And the only way I feel you can control that is having boots on the ground that is working for you, that's controlling their narrative, when they are looking at the property. Because even though, you could give them a lot of pictures and a lot of videos, personally, I think every true investor is still going to eventually walk that property before they buy it. So you definitely have to have people on the ground that can help facilitate those meetings for you if you're not there. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, you gotta have some form of representative there to represent you and your interest within the transaction. Um, so it's really just that simple or whatever. So whether that's another wholesaler, a friend, a family member, a real estate agent, whoever, you got to have someone to represent. It's just simple as being able to show a house or be there at a house when a seller and buyer meet because the seller wouldn't provide a key. And that's going to happen if you do this long enough, right? And so to answer your question, yeah, that's part of it. You got to just have someone to mediate on your behalf. So once you figure that out, sky's the limit on virtual wholesaling in any market of decent size. So here's a question. All right. Can you explain why it's good to use a purchase and sales agreement instead of an assignment for the buyer?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really say one is better than the other. It's just my preference and how I was taught and how I teach it. For me, if I promote a price versus an assignment fee amount, buyers are going to negotiate a price based on whether that price works for them. Whether I have a property under contract for $1 or $100,000 or whatever. So that's why I promote, purchase and sales agreement with the seller, purchase and sales agreement with the buyer. You can advertise your assignment fee. They're going to knowingly negotiate your money. When I put out a price out there, they may think they got the best deal in the world, and I'm like, I really wanted 20,000 out there. They only negotiated back to 28,000. I picked up another 8,000. I didn't even think I was going to make. I bet you if you said, hey, I want a $20,000 assignment fee, I guarantee you, in most cases, now you may have some bidding wars, that's rare, but and they say, well, instead of your 20, I'll give you 28,000. You see what I'm saying? So no, that's why you promote a price, and that's done with a purchase and sales agreement. What you think?
No, I totally agree, 100%. I mean, I never ever use the assignment, but like you said, Ty. I mean, you got to understand you got to understand the dynamic of the transaction. So no one really wants to pay for something, then they know that you haven't really worked for. So it gives them the ability to see exactly what your fee is, and then for some reason, people want to count your pockets. It's like, okay, you haven't done that much for 20,000. I'll give you 5. So to me, it allows me to have less conversations about my fee and allows us to focus on getting you a great deal, regardless of what's in between. You got a deal at the price that you're willing to pay for. So that's why I prefer the purchase agreement over the assignment, because I don't want to have to explain my money per se.
What's up? Someone made a comment on one of the questions. That's cool. All right. Again, people, got. Oh, here we go. All right. How do you find buyers in markets you don't live in?
I think it's taking the approach. You're taking all the marketing campaigns and strategies that you can do from a virtual standpoint. I personally don't do a lot of virtual wholesaling in other states. I mean, I think I've just been spoiled with Atlanta that I didn't need to, but so what do you think?
Well, you're going to go through the same process that you would if you're promoting a property locally. You're still going to network your butt off in any of the local Facebook and LinkedIn groups. You would normally do that locally. You're going to post your deals in those Facebook and LinkedIn groups and on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace, right? You're going to reach out to other wholesalers in that market. That goes back to networking. All right, the obvious wholesalers. A simple thing you can do is just simply go to Google. I did a recent post on IG and TikTok on it. Simply go to Google and do a search, sell my house fast in the name of that city. Those first 2 pages, 3 pages of results, especially the ones at the very top and the very bottom, which are ads, they're paying a lot of money to be there, right? And normally they're actual wholesalers and or flippers or, whatever, investors. So, so that alone, you're going to get some real players in that particular market by itself or whatever. So especially if you have a great deal, you'll move it really fast, just with that simple tip. So basically going to do the same thing you would do. The only thing you can't do is show up at meetups and real groups. Everything else is pretty much the internet or whatever, and just normal technology and communications or whatever, and just getting in there, mixing it up. You have a great deal. If it's in like I said, a decent sized city, you market that deal, it's gone or whatever. Everybody, this is no secret, man. The hustle is real out here on this real estate thing, man. It has been forever and will continue to be unless, again, they make shelter free. Then we got to try to figure out something else.
Right.
I don't see that happening anytime soon, though. So, so hopefully that made sense. All right, let's see what else we got here. All right.
But one of the things I like to do, I like to take my cash buyer to another city. I think, that's been very lucrative for me, is that you have these buyers, and although they're in your city, they willing to invest in Birmingham, they willing to invest in Chicago and Cleveland. So, being able to network with people in those areas who can provide great deals, so you can provide them to your cash buyer. So that, that's another way of looking at it as well.
All right, boom. Well, says sorry. What's it, Wayne? I'm not sure about the last name. Oh, you can join us, guys. Just go to comps101.com and we'll put you on. You can ask your question live. So sorry I joined late. So do you mean you can use the same one-page purchase and sales contract for the seller and the buyer?
That's it. The key on the and I know Tyler follow up. The key on those purchase and sales contract is that every one of them has an assignment clause in it. So if you see it, if you read, like most of the time is in the first paragraph, it pretty much gives you the ability to, this contract can be assigned to assignee. So it's just that one clause that is in the contract that allows you to be able to assign that purchase and sales agreement to your end buyer. So.
Oh, all right. Let me see what else we got here. All right. We're still on contract, but we'll sort of go brush up, basically reiterate what we said. How is a purchase and sales agreement used with the buyer? I'm in Texas, and most people here use an assignment contract. So we sort of already have went through this a couple of times or whatever, but you're still going to get paid via an assignment. You're just initiating everything with 2 purchase and sales agreements, one with you and the seller, one with you and the buyer or whatever. Even if an attorney wants that on file or within the documents, all they have to do is just present it at closing and you sign it, right, and the buyer signs it or whatever. I've done that quite a few times. You've ever done that where they just gotta have one involved?
Yeah.
And they just want you to sign it at closing or whatever. So if that's just a part of, but just understand that contracts are not the actual deal. They're only to initiate the deal. The actual paperwork and everything to get paid on is handled at the closing table. So if anything additional is needed, sometimes an attorney may want you, or a closing title company may want you to send it just, a day before. We need it, like they just gonna die if they don't get it or whatever. Okay, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But by then the seller's he's already started planning getting this millions folks lined up and trying to get the power turned on and all that stuff or whatever. So that's a normal done deal by that point or whatever. So, but anyway, and a lot of times they've
But if
already
you can't control it, if you gotta have it, try to control your attorney to make it be at, a document that they sign at the closing table.
Yeah.
So, don't give them a chance to sleep on it.
All right. Yeah, that's a good one. All right. So, all right. And they're killing us on these contracts. I think we explained most of this. All right. Someone says, I have a property under contract and the seller wants $290. I tried to comp the comps in the neighborhood, but it's too hard. Can you help me? All right, James, you have to give us an idea what you mean by too hard. Are they, you don't have a lot of comps in the area, or does it, you have to be a little bit more clear on what you're missing. Again, if you want to join us live to ask your question, just go to comps101.com. We'll be glad to get you on. All right. All right. Someone asked this question. I think someone answered, but we'll put it here. For whatever reason, guys, we've got quite a few people in here, but we're not getting a lot of questions. We're here to help. So maybe I'm doing a horrible job of that. I guess y'all want Adrian. I'm sorry. She's not here.
Adrian.
All right. So do you have any recommendations for virtually signing documents besides DocuSign? Or they say DocuSign. I've never used anyone else, but it's just a Google search away. Just Google email signatures, signature emails, and it's going to be whoever's in the game. They're going to pop up on those first 3 or 4 pages of results, and you can just go with whatever you feel comfortable with. DocuSign works.
Why don't you like DocuSign? I think DocuSign is. I think DocuSign is probably one of the best virtual signing platforms I think out there, in my opinion. Yeah.
I love it. Click, click, click.
Yeah.
Get the notification,
Can't beat
sign
that.
Yeah. All right.
If you have an Android phone, like I have a Note, you can sign your documents right on your phone.
All right. Deep in the money. I think the stock market guy I didn't chat it with before. How to determine the right title company?
That's a good question. I mean, every market is different. Every attorney is different. If you're wholesaling, I think just give them the scenario, let them know exactly what you're doing, and let them know that, hey, I'm putting together these real estate transactions, but I'm wholesaling them, and I like to do double closings or maybe assignment closings. Can you facilitate those type of transactions? And then they'll begin to tell you what they can and cannot do. What do you think?
Yeah. If you just gotta find one, there's so many wholesalers out here now in every market. You can just go into a group, Facebook group that's local to you, and just ask the question. There's gonna be some people that are just gonna automatically just gonna help you. Just like Renika, you frequent all this stuff. Someone reached out to you, you probably no hesitation. You ain't got nothing to lose on that. Or well, you never know.
I just did that the other day. Yeah.
And so
because stuff like that does become word of mouth.
Yeah, just word of mouth. Just who's going to deal. So you can go into my Facebook group, Wholesaling Real Estate with the Flipman. It's over 60,000 people in there. Somebody's going to probably know in your market who to deal with as far as being wholesalers, assignment, double close friendly or whatever in that market. So that's something you don't even have to worry about Google. Just go to, like I say, some of these Facebook groups, Instagram. Just search for those typical markets and just ask people. Glad to refer that information to you or whatever. But ideally, if sometimes you don't have control over that, depending on what buyers you're dealing with. So you have to keep that in mind also or whatever. So you don't want to start running titles every time you get a property on the contract, you start piling up those fees. All of them may not close. You know what I'm saying? You can ruin a relationship unless you're gonna pay all those fees or whatever. So just a side note. All right. All right. So I gotta answer this because they talking about my service here that I'm affiliated with. Is Jonathan Lopez says PropStream worth it? I've heard of other websites that are supposedly more up to date as far as the data. But what you have to understand about the data, PropStream is getting the most current data available made by that particular county. It can only be as accurate or as updated as the county provides it to the public. No other services are getting it any better or faster or more special than PropStream is getting it. It just doesn't work that way. They are real players in the data, especially real estate data game. They're getting the most updated information made available by that particular county that you're doing business in. Has a 5-day free trial. You know, if you go through materialated.com, test it out. You know, you don't like it, you know, boom, you're out or whatever. So just to make sure we have an understanding. All right, so someone said here, that, speaking of Illinois, can I wholesale virtually in Illinois? I guess, do they mean they live there, but can they wholesale in a different state? Is that what they're asking?
They live in a different state, can they wholesale there?
Yeah, why not? They just don't want you to do it without a license in Illinois properties. They're not saying that you're a resident there, that you can't do that. Just like saying, I'm selling Amazon or whatever. I have an Amazon account and I can't sell to people in Alabama or Georgia or Wisconsin or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They can't control
So
that.
it only applies to the residents.
Yeah, you know, so.
So if you was wholesaling in Illinois, you can do that from Birmingham.
Well, yeah. If you were in Illinois trying to wholesale a property in Birmingham, they can't stop that.
No. If you was in Birmingham trying to wholesale in Illinois.
Oh yeah, I couldn't. You know what I'm saying? They would. That's a good question. So that's a good question.
That is a good one.
Wait a minute,
is it just residents or is it everybody?
So let's think through this. So basically what they're saying is, from my understanding with the law, because I had the attorney on, unless you have a broker's license, you're only allowed to wholesale one property in the state of Illinois per year, right? That's so that covers whether you live there or don't. That's you have a broker's license, right? So, and see, they don't have real estate agents from them. They have different levels of brokers. So, you know what I'm saying? You have, I don't know what it's called, but they don't really title them as agents. When you have brokers, they just have brokers. Then you have the next level of brokers that I guess, you know, house other brokers. Or we know like agents do with brokers. So, better brokers do with agents, I mean. So, but I saw this problem 3 or 4 weeks ago. Every time you get a property in the contract, you and this agent or broker become partners.
Right.
Every time you get one on the contract, say you all going to make $12,000 off the deal and you all splitting everything 50-50. What you would do is create a simple website, even if you just went to GoDaddy and created a $2 website for that particular property with pictures, video, or just pictures. You can just put the name of it up there. It doesn't matter. No one can tell you how much to sell that website to that broker. So I built this website for that broker for $6,000, my half of the deal.
Right.
What else y'all need to know? If Tyrone Taylor was in Illinois, all these people scared, I'd be killing it up there.
I'll be killing it.
Yeah, killing it.
You gotta find a loophole.
I can sell a website for $6 million if I want to. If someone wants to. Agents pay for services all the time. They pay for website services, social medias, all that stuff.
Right. Don't allow them to hold you back out there. Do not allow them to hold you back.
Each house that we have in the contract, I'm selling it for half of my part of the deal. A website,
Right.
I built a $10 website and selling it for half of my deal.
Right.
How is that illegal?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm selling attached to that house that I built a website to promote that house. The agent bought the site from me. Boom. They paying me at closing for that site.
Absolutely.
Right?
Make a way. Do not allow them to box you in. Absolutely not. That's, to me, that's controlling. That's some other level controlling they're doing out
Some hate broker. Yes. I would love to get a backstory of how all of that got to
absolutely.
actually went to the legislation, however it's done in the state of Illinois, and it actually got paid. I would love to hear what started all of that. Wow, that is amazing.
Political. It's
anyway,
super political.
But I be hustling my what off up there.
Absolutely. And you know, another way is I'm transaction coordinator. You can't tell me that I cannot, be a transaction coordinator on a deal, on a purchase and sale. I didn't sign anything. I didn't flip anything.
Services.
I'm a consultant on this deal.
Services. I can put whatever fee I want. Hey, I can sell you a $6,000 box if I want to.
Find the loopholes. Oh no.
Oh man, wow. Wow. Anyway, so let's see what else we got here. People in here helping each other. Let me see. What did they say? Wow. Say cold calling. How many hours? Or sell lists daily if I'm working 10 to 12 hours a day. Sunri, I don't know how to pronounce that. They say cold calling. How many hours or list daily if I'm working 10 to 12 hours a day? So you're going to cold call 20 to 12 hours a day, or are you on your gig? If you could clear that up for you. If you're making, wow, boy, that's grinding. Woo. If they're going to make, I don't know, they need to clear that up. I'm not sure what that means.
If I'm working, yeah, I understand. So she said she worked 10 to 12 hours. How many hours does she need to put in the cold call?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah, we might need to clear that up. What do you say to sellers when you cold call?
Good question.
Great question. Oh, you want me to go?
Yeah.
Well, the opening statement is going to probably be the biggest, the icebreaker, right? A lot of ways of going about it. Some people are just natural for them or whatever. For us that are not, is not natural for them. So ideally, you want to let them know, and probably in 10 to 15 words, exactly why you're calling, so they don't think it's an actual sale call. I don't consider when you call in to hand out money or to buy something from someone a sale call. I guess technically it is or whatever, but the way that conversation should be is go in my way it's done around me and people I get to help me with it. Hi, John. I'm calling to speak to the owner about buying their property at 123 Main Street. Am I speaking to the right person? Boom. You let them know. Hopefully you got that out. You should have gotten that out. So that let them know that you're calling about buying a piece of real estate. Now, if they're open to it, then they're like, yeah, you got the right person. What are you offering? Now, they may hit you like that now. So you got to be prepared. I said, well, I would love to just have that number ready to go, but we make a lot of calls, and I'm glad you even considering selling your property too, because we are looking to buy 2 more properties in that area where your house is located. If I can get a couple of things, a couple of bits of information about the property, I would love to be able to make you a fair offer on it. So boom, if someone, I don't know how reasonable that sounds pretty reasonable to me. If they don't want to proceed beyond that, you're probably not dealing with someone that's motivated anyway. So it's just saving your time and their time. And they're like, yeah, what do you need to know? So you're going to go into trying to discover, number one, is it vacant? The bedrooms and bath, the condition of the property, just all the history on the property as possible to get them to open up, to tell you more about it so you can fact find, maybe build some rapport. If you sold this property I know I'm calling you. What would be a particular reason you would even consider selling the property? And the reason you're asking that is hopefully you're going to try to discover some form of motivation that your timing is perfect, that you just called that individual. So, what do you think?
No, I mean, I agree. I mean, I think cold calling is one of those things you got to think of it. It's no difference from if you was looking to lease a property, right? And you call that number, and then you call the number that's on the maybe a bandit sign that could be in the yard, or maybe you looking online. It's no different. You're gonna have that same conversation. So you calling them and you wanted them to know if is it for sale, and you're interested in purchasing the property at 123 Main Street, and then you just begin to build rapport and begin to ask them questions about their property and just have a natural conversation, as if you was not even if you was looking at a property to buy. It'd be that same natural conversation that you will have when you call a homeowner or cold call a homeowner, or whatever the case may be. So keep it, to me, keep it natural. Keep it natural. You know exactly if you're looking to buy a property, what are some of the things that you would want to, ask that homeowner. So keep it natural and build rapport in the midst of it.
Boom. All right. So we got my man here, James. Gonna add him on. Let me move this banner. What's going on, James?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Oh,
Hey,
super
James.
tight, man. I'm glad you joined us. What
Yes,
you got?
yeah. I got this property. Let me say it's a relative of mine. He is emotionally tied to his property, but he is trying to sell. I know everybody really emotionally tied to their property, you know what I'm saying? But the value that he wants, I don't think that he really could get. And I tried to do the comps in the neighborhood. His thing is they're $1 million houses right across the street from him. And so the price that he wants to like $290K. And I'm trying to see how can I make some money. And I think I did the deal calculator. I think it came out to like 130 or 180 or something like that. And I'm like, that's a long way from 290.
Right.
So I don't know what to do.
What's the ARV?
I think the ARV said like 250.
And he wants 290?
He wants 290.
Oh, what is it?
That's the problem right there. We got to educate.
And yeah, you wouldn't have offered 180. That's 30. Yeah, does it need any repairs?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
I mean, it's a. They've made
Do it need to be updated?
It could be updated.
Okay, those are repairs.
Yes.
The price itself, depending on the square footage.
Yes, man. I wish.
Is the property that's selling for 250? Are they look like that one, or they look like they've been renovated?
No, he has like, I think it's like his lot is big. I think his lot is like 8,000 square feet or something like that. And the other houses that they did in the was like 20,000. So it's hard for me to really do the comps like that, because he's looking at how big his yard is and things of that nature, and the property value across the street.
And it doesn't matter.
Right.
I mean, yard is extra, but it doesn't matter. I mean, the dwelling on the property is really what brings the value to the property. Unless he's looking, the only reason your yard, it allows you to expand the house. It allows you to make the house bigger. And once you expand the house to make it bigger, now you added value to the land, you added value to the house. But just having a big yard with nothing there is really no different probably from his neighbors. So unless he's looking to, build another house back there on his yard, or looking to expand the dwelling on his yard, it doesn't make or break the deal.
His yard, you said his lot was 8,000 and theirs is 20,000.
Yeah, I think it. I should have wrote everything down. You know what I'm saying? So I can't.
Well, sounds like his lot is smaller than theirs. Anyway, so that's not a fact.
No, I mean, I think that.
Well, you can see what your eyes tell you. Whose lot bigger, his or theirs?
His is big. His is
Okay,
His
okay,
bigger.
backwards then. Okay,
right.
all right.
Yeah.
So, but that's irrelevant. Like she said,
Mhm.
let's see. That's irrelevant. It's
Right.
relevant, but it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
But he's so far from. Well, how many square feet is his house?
Oh, my. I think it was. I should have wrote it. I'm unprepared. I got no prop screen, but I'm on my phone.
Well, I can just tell you and him are still for. He wants to. Wait a minute. So the ARV is what now?
Listen, can you look it up?
Yeah, I can look it up. Yeah.
There you go. All right, it's 8052.
Hold on 1 second for me. Just 1 second. Should have had this up. My bad.
Oh, by the way, I missed the 21.
Mr. 21.
I don't know if you remember a couple weeks ago. I told you I'm the one that did the, all that time, and y'all was like, woo wee.
Oh, yeah. How many years was it?
21.
Oh,
Ooh,
wow.
wee.
Yeah. How old were
That
you
is
then?
unbelievable.
I was 28 then.
Okay, so you right at 50. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow. All right. Good to see you, my man.
Yes.
All right. What's the address?
8052 Dorr, DORR Street, Toledo, Ohio.
Okay. That's an interesting street. All right. I'm assuming you all can see this, right?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. Joseph Quinn.
Yes.
Okay, that's your uncle. Okay. Now, okay, yeah, Joseph. Okay, that's almost 2 acres. It is 2 acres. He's sitting on his lot is 87,120. And if for you all that don't know what the square footage of an acre is, 43,560. And if you can't visualize that, it's a football field without the end zones.
Mm.
And the house is 3,000 square feet. Lord, ooh.
2 acres is good though. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bring some value. 2 acres brings some value.
So the only house that's okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go down in square footage. Maybe we can pull up some more comps here.
Because I only got one from there.
I'm gonna go down to 1,500 square feet. As far as I know it's smaller, but at least we can pull something. All right. So we have this. So his house was built in 1990. We show a house built in 1995 for 252. So that's your comp right there. So we know at least his house is worth 252,000. It's worth more because he's sitting on 2 acres, no question about that.
Yeah.
And so, like this house right here, sitting on 18,000 square feet as far as the lot size, square footage 1,000 less than his. So we know Yonkers at least 250, right? So it's probably
Is
going
that 250 renovated or is that 250?
That sold back in August of this year. So let's look at it. We'll go to Zillow and look at it if it was sold recently through MLS or whatever. So you all may not be able to see what I'm seeing. Hold on a second. Let me just pull it up first before I pull it up. Well, it's in really good condition. Well, it looks like it was. Let me just pull it up. Let me just show it to you on Zillow. Hold on a second here. All right, so here are the pictures. So I don't know if it was renovated, but it was in good condition.
Yeah. It's pretty good condition.
Yeah, it's pretty good condition. So
I would love to know what are the renovated properties are really selling for in the area.
yeah, because this house needs updating, but it's in really good condition.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be north of 300,000 for sure. What he wants for it. Just that's a lot of land or whatever. Yeah. So and then let me see. Let's go back to the so you said houses across the street selling for $1 million. So let's just go a mile out and see what happens here.
Mhm.
All right. So in a mile radius, I don't see anything over. I see some 400s in here or whatever. So that's your map right there or whatever.
Mhm.
So
How
that'll
do
be
a $400,000 property look?
Okay, pull that up. This one went for 430. It sold back in July. All right, let me see here. Let me look at it first, and I'll pull it up. Okay. All right. Now that house is 3,300 square feet, right?
Mhm.
And let me go back. What year is it?
Which is a very important piece when you're looking at comps. So you really pull it up and really evaluate the type of the condition of the property, the condition of
Okay.
the rehab. That's a very important piece because, if that property been rehabbed to top notch, you're going to have to do similar rehab work in order to meet that goal as well.
You all
Okay.
see? What do you think about that, Renee?
Mm-hmm.
That's not a renovation. It's just been well maintained,
It's been
So
well maintained.
yeah, I guess that counts for something. So,
Yeah, that's
but
interesting.
but that house is let me see how far it is from this one. Let me stop the share.
Mm.
See, this is why I was having so much. See, I'm a newbie, and I was having so much trouble trying to comp this.
All right, so now that
This
house
is a great location, though. I mean,
yeah,
the properties are solid.
yeah, that house was built in 2002. Your uncle's house was built in 1990. It's
Mm.
in a 20,000 square foot lot. It is 3,100 square feet.
Well, that's what, 3 acres, right?
And it's a mile away. So, what number is that? Number 28. I don't see it here on the map. Let's blow this map up. All right, so
Well, that's been on 3 acres, the one you just pulled up.
no, it's sitting on like just 20,000, just half an acre, not even half an acre.
Mm.
Oh, now he's sitting on some, you know what I'm saying? Got some good comps in here. He's sitting on 2 acres. It's definitely something there. I don't know what, but something.
Right, right. The
You
key
know,
is that none of those properties are really renovated, so I can only imagine what
yeah,
you can get if you really, really upgrade and do something amazing. But
correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah, so that was number 28 right here. That's what I was looking at. It's up here in the left, right here. His property way down here. So, and that's a subdivision right there. So you really can't count that. It's a mile away or whatever. So
Yeah, and that's what I learned about. If you jump across a subdivision, then that don't count.
yeah. So boom. So there you go, my man. Hopefully that made sense to you. But regardless, I still think at 250,
you
you
may be
need.
more confused.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna tell you, that 180 that you're talking about, that probably would work, right? That probably would work. If he would accept that, but it doesn't sound like your uncle needs the bread. He has zero motivation,
Right.
So, but offers are free. Say, hey, best I know I could do. If I'm gonna get involved, we're gonna need to probably be around 150 or so.
Okay.
And looking at the comps, he can really get 250 as is.
Yeah.
Looking at those comps, it's not overly renovated. I'm not for sure the condition of his property, but if it's similar to what I just seen, he can really get that full 250.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm working on it.
All right. Well, make it happen, man. Make it happen.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Welcome.
Good night.
Yeah. All right.
So boom. So we've got an hour in, Radika. But just to share what you got going on before we get out of here.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, I'm always thankful for being a part of the Flipman show. What I like to do is just bring financing, creative financing to the table. Because although we teach, no money down and buying and selling real estate with absolutely no money, it comes a time where you need to kind of invest back into your business, or getting the tools and things that you need. You may want to go to the next level and do fix and flip, buy homes and things of that nature where money is involved. So if you're interested in leveraging your credit, we have a lot of different financing options. Fix and flip, buy and hold, new constructions, and we also have unsecured funding to help you offset some of those expenses associated with building your real estate business. You can go to fundmynextdeal.com. You want to get access to those loan products, and you can reach me via Facebook, Instagram, as you see on your screen, as well as email me at funding@fkfinancials.com.
Boom. All right, guys. So we got it in, show number 164. We really appreciate everyone that showed up. Please like it. As I said, share this with anyone you think that want to change their financial situation. Maybe a gateway to do that. So again, we really appreciate everyone that participated tonight. And we'll see you on the flip side.
Flipman, it's the Flipman. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Get that bag.